Hi, my name is Andrew Weeding. I just want to introduce myself. Welcome to today's class. Today's class is on strategic use of space. Have you ever sat down at your desk and realized your favorite pen is missing? Do you feel like your workplace is not adequate for your job? These are important questions for managers to consider when building a successful workplace. Today we'll talk about the importance of workspace. There are three main topics we're going to touch on. The first topic is recognizing individual space. The second topic is creating ideal space. And the third topic is understanding your workforce. Through these 3 points, we'll improve your use of space. The first point, recognizing individual space. Now, this is an important topic as we look at fixed and semi-fixed spaces. Fixed spaces are large objects that are not movable. An example would be like an executive's desk, a big desk in a room, or a private office, or a cubicle. A semi-fixed space is when you think about it like a kitchen table when there's multiple people gathered around it. As far as the fixed space goes, when recognizing individual space, this desk sits in the middle between the two. You're not going to want to sit on somebody else's desk. You're not want to take something off somebody else's desk. You're not going to want to go through somebody else's desk. When you're doing all this, this is recognizing disrespect to the individual. As far as when you're interacting with individuals on a conference table, you want to be courteous of your neighbors. You want to be aware of where you place your papers, your pens, where you place your coffee, maybe something to drink, your snacks. All these things can leave an impact on your fellow employees. We want to recognize their space. Do not take somebody else's pen when you're sitting next to them. The second topic I want to touch on is the ideal space. It's important as managers to set up an ideal workspace for your employees. We want to set them up for success. And the topic, it talks about two different flows, the open concept versus the private concept. An open concept would be a big room where there's minimal. In today's society, we want to consider Zoom meetings and then versus in-person meetings. If someone's on Zoom meetings a lot, they're going to want a private, quiet location, especially if they're meeting with clients. If they're in-person meetings, you'd want to have a room that's semi-private maybe, but maybe around a conference table, more of that semi-fixed space. Another thing to consider when setting up for ideal space is new is better than old. This is an important concept. If you walk into if one of your employees is sitting at a bad desk with poor posture, outdated equipment, a bad chair that they're uncomfortable in, they're not going to be as productive. They're not going to be as efficient. By updating some of the equipment and maintaining your equipment around your clinic, your gym, your workspace, your office, you're going to improve the ease of use, and you're going to increase employee satisfaction. We all know that by increasing employee satisfaction, you're going to also improve productivity. That leads us to our third topic of customizing workplace space. There are differences among different generations of employees. Right now, we're working with multiple generations. Some of us work with 3 generations. Some of us work with 4 generations. Some of us even work with 5 generations. It is important as managers to read your employees. Generation Y and millennials, 40% of them prefer the open space, where compared to only 16% prefer the private cubicle. And then when you look at our older workforce, 45% of them actually prefer the private workplace, whereas 16% prefer more open space or collaborative workspace. It is important to account for these, and when you are creating your office, you want to set your office up for success based on your employees. A couple things to consider with your office design. You want your office design to fit for the right people together. For example, the text talks about the importance of having your marketing department next to your finance department working together so they can increase finance while improving marketing. You also want to be able to develop the space to meet company goals. If the space is not adequate, if it's not big enough, if it is too small, if it's not creating innovative thinking, obviously that space is not working for your team. When the space isn't working for your team is not going to be successful. I find at my work, I work in healthcare, we use an interdisciplinary approach. We have rounding, where we have physicians, case managers, therapists, nurses. We all sit at a table and we speak regarding our patients, and we brainstorm different ideas. We're in a nice open area where we can bounce ideas. There's chalkboards, whiteboards, areas to present. These allow us a nice customized approach to our office. In conclusion, today we discussed different strategic uses of space in the workplace. We learned the importance of recognizing individual workspace, the importance of ideal space, and then it is important to customize your space. These principles improve workflow and productivity. Remember, building space today is critical for tomorrow's success. Thank you.